Shoutouts to the Cov versus HolySmith in this round 3 Swiss tournament. I'll be your commentator for the next, hopefully 87 minutes here. Nitsky, one who's also in this tournament. So both these racers are pretty awesome. They have excellent PBs. There they go. So Kefka at Narshe is roughly about the first third of the race. It goes up to Kefka at Narshe. So we start off at the beginning here. We use a technique to allow Wedge and Bix to run away because we want question marks to get the most levels as humanly possible. We want to get her up to level 6 before we face Marshall because that sets us up for the rest of the run. Locke's level is based on Tara's level. You'll see our runners have gone by area there in Narshe. That skips 2 battles, which we can definitely do in this game. It's based on the route. I assume based on HolySmith's 127.27 PB and the Cov's 126.23 PB that they both set up for seed manipulation. So if we seed 244, that is, I believe, the best speedrunning seed for this category. Just to manipulate the encounters and manipulate how we do things here. So far, we do have them in the pincer. Successfully gone through that there. So at this point, it's just about making sure Wedge and Bix run away. Definitely, we want to make sure that that Tara gains all that experience. To be ensured to ensure that they both do run away. Their ATB bars do have to be full, and then there is a hidden run gauge that you can't see, but that's why you see them running all the time. Just make sure that that run gauge is indeed full. For them to run, we do use the Bioblast. That allows the animation is long enough that allows them to run, and so far both of them do definitely look through. HolySmith definitely looks pumped. The Cov definitely looks cool and collected. So definitely will be a good race. It's to that. I am in chat, so if you do have any questions about any part at least of the first third of the run, I can definitely help you there. Beyond that, my knowledge of the run is a little shifty. I know you use Joker Doom and a bunch of other little crazy tricks and whatnot, but I can definitely answer any questions that you have in regards to that. Swiss. It's just a... Oh, Minix already answered that. Yeah, basically the top will go to a single elimination. So it's just a different way rather than having groups that we have had in the past. It's because it's tough to determine. It's not, so it's just the best way. We come up to Welk, the first boss of the game. You're going to see both of them ideally go for something called the quick kill. Basically is stalling Welk's ATB through some things that people call counter cancels. Even though we were told in the briefing not to attack the shell, that basically in a way resets the ATB on Welk, causes it to stall, which allows us to basically fire off 3 tech missiles. Appears as though the Cov has been able to do, and it looks as though Holy is in the same spot as well. And definitely, as Minix said there, it does even up the matches as much as possible. They're both through with the Welk quick kill. They are neck and neck, as far as I can see. I might have my streams off just by about a second, but definitely both looking very good there. Looks like it's a gold for the Cov, so he's probably pumped about that. Unfortunately, in this game, we have cutscenes. Cutscenes and text. The good news in Final Fantasy VI, while we're in these battle cutscenes, when the text is going, you can just hold down A, and it will advance on the first possible frame. There to take some time, have a drink. It's definitely good. Keep hydrated during this 90-minute run. Yeah, cutscenes. Mannix, it's good to have like a small break sometimes, because while there are a lot of cutscenes, there are on it. Although at least maybe to the top runners, there's not a lot going on. But for me, there's always something going on. So when I can take a break, even for a minute, it's always nice. Mannix, then you're looking to run on the SNES Classic to cut the scenes and save the frames. So that's why I would go there. We see the Cov and both HolySmith renaming Terra to T because we do want to save frames. Every time that the game has to display an extra character, it takes extra frames. We want to save those frames so we can definitely have her down to one frame, or sorry, one letter name, and that cuts down maximum frames. To VDC, it is mine as well. 6 equally. People ask me to separate them. It's really tough, but it's definitely a great game. So we're going to see this old man lead. It's all good, Mannix. It's all good. I just want to make sure I'm not too far ahead of you guys. It's tough for me to tell because I'm not looking at the restream. I'm just looking at them individually. The old man tells us we got to run because the soldiers are after us. So we're going to go through this cave. Both Cov and HolySmith still appear to be on step routes. So looks good. They're going to kill these characters with Terra's fire spell. You can multi-target fire. So our runners will do so in regards to that. And part of the run, but definitely they don't want to take extra steps. They don't want to make any mistakes here. Because if they make any mistakes, then it's definitely a problem. Unfortunately, and HolySmith sees it, he does have a pincer on his side. So this is going to slow him down and give Cov a smaller lead, just because Terra can't multi-target on both sides. So he is going to get through here. It's not fatal, but it's a time lost. That as the Cov has already forced an extra encounter, because on this seed, thank you Riku, speed commentary for speed runs. On this seed we do need to force an extra encounter, and he has already done that, and he is through. So you can definitely see the difference. It would be one battle at this point. So you definitely do want to avoid pincers wherever possible, and you want to get preemptives always, but those are frame-based tricks that only task bots like Magus and LCC and all the great top runners can do, apparently. So unfortunately, not all of us can do that. And more cutscenes on the Cov, so he'll be able to chill for just a little bit. HolySmith is through. I would say it's about roughly a 20-second difference. Again, it's an extremely long run, so while the Cov does have a small lead, definitely don't count HolySmith out. Happen. Gao can be a jerk. The Trench can be a jerk. Spots like real humans. Sometimes, Bliven, there's some people and the tricks that they pull off. You wonder how they're able to do what they do. For myself, I find it amazing all the time. So we learn about the game's teaching us a little bit about the story at this point, because it was 1994 and we couldn't afford tutorial. So you had to learn as you go. Learn about the Empire. Learn about Kefka. Learn about General Leo. Learn about Celis, who I don't know who Celis is. Apparently some sort of leader, but in this run we won't know who they are. See Holy taking another drink there while he goes through his cutscenes, so that's exciting. It's that tutorial house in Narshe. That's very true, but this is a speed run, so I thought. We do see lock naming for the Cov, and again he shortens it down to L. Move there. Kefka burning things, yes. Kefka's going to burn a lot of things in this game, unfortunately. See Holy renaming there to L correctly. On the Cov side, we are coming up to the Marshall fight. But what you're going to see on is going to go ahead and avoid the encounters, because again, encounters slow us down in this game. We want to avoid encounters, and we want to do everything we can to go fast. He's going to skip this information here. He's going to switch and use Mog, because Mog is actually super powerful, and he has the Mithril Lance that we will want, or sorry, not Lance, Mithril Pike that we will want to steal from him. And we can definitely do, though. The developers didn't realize that you could go into Mog's item menu, into his equip menu and unequip them, but you can go into his item menu and steal the lance, because we do need that later on. Absolutely do, Manix, you absolutely do. So you're going to see the Cov start by attacking Marshall with Mog. Ideally, none of his characters die. Pan's going to do damage to Marshall, while Cuckoo and Kutan are going to kill the Marshals, or kill the Lobos, I should say. Fortunately, Kutan is down, but that's okay. World there. And you see the Cov successfully removing the pike and the shield. The shield is optional. Pick it up for safety against Ultros, as the shield is placed on Terra. And he's through there relatively with no problems, and he is in the green for himself. So that's definitely good. A 1223 Marshall, and it appears as though Holy is taking off both items as well. Again, definitely nothing wrong in regards to that. Win pose. And there we go. Holy getting some, I think, low damage rolls there in regards to that. Fortunately, some low damage rolls there. So he is roughly about 40 seconds behind at this point. He has everything he needs. And we're going to leave Narshe. But remember this secret exit, because we might need it later. Locke being a very generous person and allowing us to use his secret entrance into the town. Narshe in about a 1338 time. So on the world map, there are certain tiles that allow us to avoid encounters. We want to avoid increasing threat. Step right in regards to that. Staying on step route at this point, very important. What encounters we get. Moment here. I just need to refresh the Cov. It just out for me for a second there. So they're both headed to Figaro at this point. Smith appears to be on point. Sorry about that, guys. Decided to just sign me out, so now I've got to back together. I apologize, but I do have HolySmith streams up. He is going to the king, so definitely good there. Is there as well. Pick up Edgar. Of plays Mega Man ISV. To be a good speedrunner through all of those games, but definitely good. We're going to go here and we're going to rename Edgar's twin brother, Sabin. Soul we need as part of... He will be dealing the most damage of pretty much any character from here on in. Full naming there. And again, it's more cutscenes, it's more going through. Exciting, but like most RPGs, the beginning, they take a lot of time to develop the story and the characters, and it's probably in about that 40-second range. It's tough to say because they might split Mannix at different times. I know some people split on Fade. Unfortunately, my streams were not up, and I apologize for that. To meet the main antagonist, some people say the greatest villain in the Final Fantasy universe, Kefka, who has sand in his boots. I appreciate it. So Kefka gets his shoes shined up. His two bruisers there, Tony and Vito, and they're going to meet Edgar. If the Cov can pull off the frame perfect trick, sadly no. The way you can set it up is you can have both guards face each other and then talk to Kefka. That's a frame perfect trick. So rip the frames for the Cov. Chance for HolySmith to gain a couple of frames on the Cov by getting that perfect. Kefka is my favorite villain as well. Maniacal and for a period of time successful. It's tough to argue with that. Yeah, Edgar there make preparations for war. See Terra getting ahead. The right one and getting the staring contest. So definite 2. HolySmith, thumbs up. Back all those frames as much as you can, so definitely good there. That Edgar is a returner, collaborator, or a sympathizer, depending on your perspective. From our buddy Locke. Terra still doesn't quite know where she fits into the world. It's pretty common throughout the Kefka and Narshe run. On the Cov side, that stone castles do indeed catch on fire. It's magic. It's totally magical. Okay. See if I'm ahead now. We do see Edgar looking to that one guard. You don't actually have to talk to Kefka. Feet away, so that's definitely good. And everything's good, and end scene whatsoever. Underground, everybody wins. Ground, somehow snuffing out the fire in the process. See Mer Knights come up. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, Edgar's extremely overpowered in this fight, and it basically takes 2 crossbows. Do you see Terra getting re-equipped with the Mithril Shield at this point? You can have Locksteel if you want, but it's not a big deal. Get 2 extra potions anyways, so it doesn't really lose a lot of time. Do see the Cobb leaving Kefka in the dust. Everything is great. Rolling in to its fight. So again, still roughly about 40 seconds, give or take, maybe 42, maybe 43. Definitely the HolySmith rearranging the inventory. You can rearrange your inventory if you want. Basically, do it now, whether you do it later, it's not a big deal. Again, about 40 seconds. We do take this chocobo with the Cobb over to this cave that leads us to South Figaro. We want to make sure we get off of the chocobo right in front of the cave. If you come off one step, that will definitely affect the step route. Meditation. Cobb comes up to the recovery spring and gets the encounter he's looking for. So we're looking for this 2 Hornet, 3 Blurry encounter because we want max experience. We get as much experience as we can before Vargas, and it's all basically routed out. On point. So far, there have been no surprises for either runner except for the unfortunate pincer that HolySmith ran into. But he appears on step route. Fortunate that RNG has determined the difference at this point. Cobb coming out of the cave, and again, there are encounterless tiles on the world map that we do want to run into. Cobb to do that. Excuse me, and he appears good there. We come into South Figaro. This is extremely important for the run. We want to pick up some sprint shoes because it's about going fast. Pairs of sprint shoes, and he is going to back row. Troop of heroes. He's going to leave. He's going to grab a chocobo because you don't get encounters while you're on the chocobo. So that's super important because each encounter costs us about 12 seconds. You gotta go fast, and no other way to go fast. Sing techno to chocobo music. He spins around very well, and that's basically almost. Mount Colts is where we're going to pick up Sabin. Spoilers on a 23-year-old video game. We are going to get an Atlas armlet. Gives extra power to Edgar's attacks, which is important going into the Ultros fight. And again, the Seprout is manipulated in a way. Yes, Riku's spoilers. I use save states reload to go fast. That's awesome, Anix. To avoid brawlers and tuskers, brawlers just hit hard and don't give us a lot of experience when we do kill them. Tuskers counter some sort of ice attack, I believe it is. Avoid that as well. On the inside, we want to fight encounters on the outside. So it's the opposite of when we were walking to South Figaro. Encounters give us more experience and are not nearly as difficult as the inside the mountain encounters. We do see the Cobb again coming into this first 4-pack. In a perfect world, a lock runs away. Oh, and the first misstep for the Cobb. He wanted to fire at the bottom, but ended up simply firing one of the Cerberuses at the top. So this is going to take a little bit longer, and as a result of Edgar's ATB bar going up, the runs. So a chance for a HolySmith to gain some ground here. Another encounter on the inside, but maybe 5 or 10 seconds there. Was you could see the heartache. He was like, ooh. Definitely interesting to see the reactions of each runner as they play the game here. And we do see HolySmith on his first encounter pack. His first 4 encounter pack, I should say. He's going to try and get Locke to run, and Locke doesn't run. Unhappiness in HolySmith's face. And sometimes Locke just the total jerk, and he just doesn't want to run. Does not want to run on that first battle. The Lancer, other than the game's Final Fantasy VI, so who knew? Second 4 encounter pack. Like he's going to try and run here as well. He tried to get Locke to run away quickly there. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Good RNG for the Cobb with a side attack. The attack always beneficial because typically you will start with full ATB. While that was happening, HolySmith did have Locke run away. Terra almost got killed. That could be quite disastrous because we have no Phoenix sounds at this point. Oh, HolySmith taking some extra steps. We will see. That has already affected things, I believe. See what we will see with HolySmith because he is a little bit off step route. Appreciate it, Max. I appreciate it. Staying on step route is extremely important, especially at this point, because the encounters will get worse and worse. You're the best. Thanks, Riku. And you can see a bit of a gap opening up now as the Cobb his levels as he is running away from this battle. I didn't see because I was focused on Holy, but he is coming up to Vargas. He's going to run away from this battle, and it looks as though it's a pretty good time for him so far. Rematch. The cream is definitely rising to the top, and mistakes are unfortunately brutally punished. Brutally punished sometimes, so... Edgar did get his level up there, so he'll just be waiting, I believe, on Terra. As we come into the Vargas fight with the Cobb, he has two bears called Ipus. Where they came from, we didn't see them on the screen, but there they are. But we're going to have Edgar auto crossbow because it's OP. Kill one. Clutch miss. Super clutch miss there. They take care of the Ipus and then just focus all the DPS on Vargas at this point. Basically, it's a whole day to win. I believe you can wait trick. Saves a lot of time. I personally don't do it. For me, it's at this point just whole day to win. Because once you do a certain amount of damage, I'm not 100% sure what the actual number is. Vargas will basically enrage and do his mortal attack. Do now see HolySmith coming in. He's probably looking over his opponent, trying to figure out where he's at. And we do see Sabin. Vargas was the one shadowing us that black figure earlier. Just comes out of nowhere. And now, personally speaking, I'd rather Blizzard Fist than Pummel, but apparently Pummel is OP and Blizzard Fist is not. So, you know, Fist skip, but that happens sometimes. It just happens to be his ATB at the time. Be a really small time loss, 5-6 seconds. HolySmith as he shows off the whole day to win technique on his side. While the Cov is through, he has lost 1 second against his PB at 31-38, so definitely good. Great QA mechanics on this game. Lots of things are broken. P for HolySmith, but gets through. The 52 death glitch is, it's not great. Like it, ace or arbitrary code execution to manipulate the game. They had known that if you died 52 times, weird things happen. To manipulate that until, I believe, either earlier this year or late last year. PB pace, so definitely good. Again, HolySmith making up some time. Maybe. Split roughly about the same spots, about a minute 11 difference. PB. Again, it's definitely not over. Even though it does seem like a minute is a lot, it's not. The Cobb not on perfect step route as you can avoid the second encounter. It's not hitting all the encounter list tiles. Curse, I've cursed myself with what's coming up here, so I'm just going to avoid it. And we're just going to have the Cobb roll in. Easy peasy. He's going to talk to this guy, and this guy is going to walk great. Enough space from Edgar that he does not get the returner soft lock, so that's definitely good. Yes, 1 minute can be easily lost in the run, but it can be easily lost. Either of them could not do the manipulation properly that's coming up here, where basically they're going to manipulate to have 0 river encounters. Be an issue with Kefka, but if they're good, that they're like their PBs show, they should be good against Ultros. They should be good against Kefka. So it might come down to RNG. It might not. It's tough to say. Could come down to Gal. HolySmith a little off step route, as we know. Unfortunately, because could definitely cause some problems. We're going to see the Cobb come through, because I'm going to assume that HolySmith knows what he's doing and he's not going to get soft locked. Nope, definitely not. The guy is out of the way. He is relieved. Trust me, you don't want to sing in the world. The worst. We're going to see the Cobb talk to all of your friends, and then we're basically going to loot the Returner's hideout, because the Empire's coming anyways. So let's pick up this Phoenix now. It's important. This Air Lance that we're going to throw later. It's Antidote and this True Knight. You don't need to pick up the White Cape as part of this run. I'm going to just say no to Bannon, because if we say no to Bannon 3 times, we get this better relic that works called Genji Glove. It's the gauntlet that doesn't work at all. Wish somebody as a kid had told me Gauntlet didn't work and just only gave you 5 more attack power, and that was all you could get. Knew I was wrong. Who knew? No issues for either runner again. Again, it comes down to the minute details at this level. When you're both 2-0, you're both pretty good. All mistakes can definitely amplify into the future, but we are going to see the Cops set up shortly for the ribbon manipulation. HolySmith wasting a couple of frames that he made up at Figaro. First step. He is going to go up now, and he is going to actually speak. I believe it's 12 frames. Oh, extra step there. So, and an extra step there. Rip 12 frame save. So, he's going to do some menuing there to optimize everything and make sure people are safe. The Ultros fight properly. There's no issue with having Sabin and Bannon in the front row. It's 7 frames 0. Thank you. I'd like to be corrected. I'd hate to only save or lose 5 frames. That would definitely be the worst. Save and reset is going to come up to the menu and save again, which he had already done. He's going to wait for our intrepid warrior there to step on the carpet. Oh, he's good. That's what we will see, but it looked as though the Kov pulled off the manipulation perfectly. The first 2 encounters on the river are mandatory. We do want to just run counter. We want to make sure that Bannon doesn't die because he's a jerk. And if he does die, rip game. We want to make sure we go the right way on the river. In this case, it's a left and left. It's the best version of this game. If you say PC version, you're fired. I like the SNES version. That's what I grew up with. Everybody has their own preferences in regards to that. The Kov doing something here is tell you what just happened there. I've never seen where you have all 3 people up. Oh, kicked out. Run away. Well, if you want to torture yourself, then go ahead and play the PS1 version. Did there. He had Seaman and Bannon 5 at the Pterodon. Normally you have the rest dead, because Edgar's only at level 10. Level 7, so it's not like you get extra HP. Something new? Anybody in chat, please tell me. I feel like Holy is not going to let me down. He's going to have all of his people run away, or at least try to run away. I'm going to see the Cobb come up to Ultros, as we do see HolySmith. I believe he got the manipulation correct there, and he should have no encounters going forward. And he does have Edgar at level 11, so he's going to do a little more damage, which is definitely good. put Edgar in the front row. Super important. Max damage. He will only do half damage from the back row. You see the Cov doing some weight tricks here. This allows, again, to stall Ultros's ATB. Heads, and we avoid all the potential nastiness that Ultros can pull on us should there be a problem. Okay. Is down. So even though a small misstep, maybe he does something I'm not aware of. I haven't watched any of the Cubs runs. You can use Emulator, the Josher. There are a multitude of sites out there that will... So that... Is it on Virtual Console? It is. It was. Knowing Nintendo, anything could happen. So Sabin gets a little overzealous on the Cobb side and disappears, going a different way. It's on the Wii, but not the Wii U. Thank you, Riku. So I couldn't tell you. Do you see Terra in critical here? This was part of the original race. The old strat would have something called Riot Blade, which we might potentially see Terra here pull off. Do not get the muscle head skip, which definitely brings some danger, as the next attack from Ultros will more than likely fire party, but gets a huge crit, breathes a sigh of relief. Sees through Ultros. Cobb again, walking a certain way, because we did reset at the river, even though he was off step route. Use an IM. He was supposed to get that encounter at that one tile at the bottom, but didn't. Not exactly sure. That plays out. Yes, he definitely was saved by the crit there, Mannix. That's for sure. And we're up to the Imperial base with the Cobb. I'm just going to reset for some reason. There we go. For a second there. Totally for a second. Sorry about that, guys. Cobb stream for some reason. Holding my computer. We do see, unfortunately, HolySmith not walking optimally. Her and Stray Cat, which we definitely want to avoid, because one, it's slower to run from this game versus a single enemy. And two, for the Velt, we want to make sure that we have certain encounters so that while we try and get Gal, we have the easiest encounters. Again, HolySmith taking an extra step that might prove problematic. Going on. Paradons he did building. We do get the amazing Cyan on the Cobb side, who is useful for basically one and two things. One, and two, retort. Cyan can die in a fire, usually. Say about that. Yeah, Oblivion, You would be a little bit behind. I was a little bit behind as well, but which is fine. So Cyan does do the retort strat. The commander attacks, or cadet. Cyan retorts, and he's down. While he was doing that, he changed the battle speed to 1, because at that point we do want the enemies to attack faster so that we can retort faster. HolySmith side. There in regards to that. Anticipate any problems at this point. We do put sprint shoes on Cyan so that later on, while we're running through the castle, we can do that quickly. See here that General Leo has been quote-unquote ordered home. Kefka pulling a stunt as he normally does. Holding the controller to win and taking a drink strat. It's guy approved. As we see on the Cobb side, he is going to run into Kefka. So why we didn't change the battle speed back at this point. At this point, Kefka is considered in your party. That's why he has the small sprite. So when we change the battle speed, that only affects enemies. A huge issue here. You're going to see him wait twice. When I grew up. So, ouch. See the Cobb do the equip at this point. Shadow has some ninja gear, which he's going to be disappearing anyway, so we might as well just pull it off him and give it to Sabin, who we need, and pull Sabin to the front row and change our battle speed again. Take care of this gloriously terrible Templar and soldier fight. You can die, but it's terrible that it's long. Sometimes in this fight, if Shadow gets hit in a certain way, shows up on on Shadow's behalf. This case doesn't happen, which is ideal, is seeing Interceptor as a time loss, but it would allow us to save the Air Lancet. Shadow is so cool. He is an enigma wrapped in a contradiction, wrapped in toilet paper. Yeah, go upstream, pour this water. Now, people have said, how does the water dilute? How do they get sick so quickly? The problem is, as I've learned, time. So it's bustling with activity, but did they see that hours ago? Was that days ago? Sure. So, again, the people instantly get sick. So get your purple Kool-Aid out and have a glass, because it's the best. Juice can go the grape juice route as well. What we need to do is, there's poison, go. Maybe we can save the king. Maybe we can save our entire empire. There. And as I've learned recently, this is the king basically face down in the dirt. I always thought the king had red eyes. And recently, that's not the case. Now that I look and see, it is definitely good. And face down. So, like any good sentry, look and see, as the king basically has said, we're done, GG. I'm over. So, Cyan doing what any normal parent does. Let's go and check on my wife and my kid, and they should all be good, right? Or maybe not. Holy is conducting on his side. I like that. +1 to style points for you, HolySmith, for conducting your amazing scene that I unfortunately can't listen to, as it's tough to listen to 2 streams at once. So we see on the Cobb's side that Cyan is in a rage. So he comes to the base all by himself and says, "Here, I'm going to take out everybody." It's hilarious. At this point, Cyan is not controllable. So in a perfect world, he is simply attacking with his regular attack and not dispatch, as dispatch is a slower animation and takes time. Whether you get 3 or 4 grunts during these attacks, I believe, is random. But we're going to recover Shadow. Interesting. An extra step there. There. I just noticed that on the Cobb stream. We do have 3 grunts here, so this should be easy peasy. Good ATB. Crit, he's still at 185 HP, so that's a ton of HP. Give him even odds as well. I definitely would as well. Cadet Grunt, this ultimately comes down to crit and see Sabin take out the front one. Dirk, because we don't need that. And Dispatch should take care of it. There. HolySmith starting these 3 fights, so but it's tough to say. So we do see that Cyan cannot control this abomination known as Magitek Armor. They're going to come together and they're just going to and take care of all these guys. So definitely a good opportunity to sort our inventory, as we want to keep the top clear for the next part. Some dried meat. Eventually, move our Phoenix Downs to the top. Move our potions to the top, so we can definitely take care of everything. Death counter there from the soldier. That's about good. Dispatch for both. Sorting inventory. Definitely no issues there in regards to that. Let's not keep the Magitek armor, so let's just leave them there because that's the right thing to do. Going to continue our walk south to Narshe. Through the Phantom Forest, easy peasy. The Cov. 1 ghost here. Fortunately, on HolySmith's side, a pincer attack. Only thing this loses is time because of or a back attack. You always start with the lowest or a really low amount of ATB. Oh, so hard. That for the Cov there. It's the 3 ghosts encounter. Shadow is the one who gets attacked. And we see a busted down railway. Take a look. And still not over. Still lots of game left. Thing can still happen. I know that this train is haunted, and apparently the door magically won't open. Let's not use our weapons to break down the door or hit it with a aura bolt. Let's keep the train intact. So you're going to see the cob walk in a certain way. Unfortunately, the ghosts can be trolls, but in order to maintain set route, because the train is quite dangerous, is same separation. But in order to ensure he gets the encounters he wants to get, he will be stepping a certain way. Now that he has received this counter inside the train, the encounters outside the train are much more challenging. Ghosty Knight, the cob would be ahead by roughly about a minute to a minute and a half. Okay. As I said, you want to avoid outside encounters as they are much more challenging than the inside encounters. At this point, and how the seat is set up, it can do something called Blaze, and it can totally wipe your party. The last save for either runner is their... So at this point, they'd be losing about 20 minutes each. So definitely want to avoid that. Using his dastardly powers to jump over 2 train cars. Holy is going to force his encounter with still goings. If you do run into a pincer with the still goings, you can use a potion. They are considered undead. So definitely out of the way and then continue on. So definitely be a problem for HolySmith. He has taken some extra steps now where he didn't want to. I believe 2 extra steps, so he is going to get a Grasshopper fight just before he hits Barren Falls. Good. Impressive. Absolutely. So definitely that bomb encounter 2 steps before it would be expected, but still a single bomb, still able to get away. And get the earrings. Definitely important for Sabin to do additional damage. Up his party. Definitely a smart thing to do. That's to make sure he doesn't take any extra to that. Speed Racer, great question. I don't know who originated this category. I truly don't know. Did the first time you fight him, quote-unquote battle? Yes, because we just fought him in the Imperial camp. A decent stopping point, as it is about an hour and a half long. So for people just learning it, because the full category would be for no sketch, the world record's about 4.5 hours or so. So stop. We do see that the cob is slowing down Phantom Train's progress. I here are able to use Sabin to manipulate the train in an inverse fashion. Some people choose not to. Some would want to go fast. There's no inversion of the train by the cob. Some people might say that's run invalid. People might say it's a speed run, you gotta go fast. See what HolySmith decides to do. Way too long to race, like 5 hours plus. You're gonna see HolySmith here come up to the train. It's his run with an inversion of the train by a character on his team. He tells me in the race chat that he is going to invert the train. He does get a wheel on Sabin, so that's definitely not a bad thing. The train suplex. Inversion complete, run validated, does not get evil toot. Things down. Fix his inventory. Time of just over 101. Gold on his side, even with train suplex. Very nice. So if you look at the Cobb splits and HolySmith split, it looks as though it's about a minute in seconds, but it's actually a bit less than that. The Cobb splits on the train getting initially hit. HolySmith split on Fade to Black, so I would say it's roughly about a minute at this point, maybe a touch less. So can definitely be made up with, you know, a fourth try gal for one person and a first try gal for somebody else. They are both off step route, I believe. Did make up some time as well. There were some missteps by the Cobb as he's in the morning cutscene. So it's basically 45 seconds to arrange your inventory basically however you want. Make sure that he did remove the sprint shoes from Sabin and equip the earrings. The Cobb did stay on step route, obviously, since he did not get an encounter. I thought he had fallen off, but maybe not. Here, that best buddy in the world, Shadow, takes off because he feels as though jumping over a waterfall is a bit ridiculous. I don't blame him. Shadow for all the help. You see Cyan's for coming along. What the Cobb is going to do is something called a Psycho Cyan retort glitch. So first we have to kill Cyan to pull this off. We're going to hope that the piranhas do us a favor here. That should be enough. It's going to be really, really tight. He is going to kill one of them. We're going to hope that the nose. We're going to see the piranha. Yeah. Is off, so he is going to get those grasshoppers, as I had indicated. The Cobb setting up the glitch. Killing Cyan. Reviving him with the Phoenix down. Going to Sword Tech 2. Then suplex, so he is going to suplex here. And is going to miss, but Cyan, in a fit of rage, do 667 damage to that piranha, which maybe it just scares Rise to pass away. But basically, the game doesn't quite know what to do after a magical attack, after a physical attack. So it just says, okay, you win. See, we don't see Rise to pass. Who can definitely do a lot of damage. You at this level. For sure. I would say it's about a minute 6, maybe a bit less. Same thing on HolySmith's side as Gao appears for the first time. This guy is going to basically determine how the rest of the run is going to go. Unfortunately for And had 2 HP, so we had to waste an extra attack instead of. So we get this really cool belt music on the Cov's side. So far so good. Run away. Basically, we need to go to the town of Mobley's and pick up some dried meat. Can go ahead and give that to Gal. This pincer is the scripted pincer, because basically this was a pincer that we had way back at the beginning of the game. So this is the best encounter pack to do this. We want to kill both sides because it's faster than killing one side and then trying to have them both run away. Take care of that there. Gal will not show up on a back attack, a pincer, or if one of your party members are dead. So definitely important to keep your party members alive and avoid those back attacks and pincers. This is the third transaction. Beaker, he runs from that, not a problem. The RNG can definitely come into play. See Gao being renamed on HolySmith's side. And he just buys a dried meat. Some people sell the black belt there. It's worth 2,500 gold. Can definitely help us buy smoke bombs later on. He might just sell the black belt later, that's all. So Gal has a 5/8 chance of showing up. Single ghost is really easy to take down. How much? Not a lot. I'll get first try Gal. Again, it's a 5/8 probability. He, again, wants to be sure that neither of his characters die. He does save. Prudent action, I would agree. Yes, bless RNG FF Master. Single bomb by itself is not extremely scary, but scary enough. Zorbolt and kill it. And second try Gal for the Cov. So far he is in there. And doesn't accidentally give it to himself. Gets to relax for about 1.5 minutes as the world's longest cutscene takes place. Smith coming up to Mobley's. The second try Gal was not bad for Sepro. Fourth try Gal that runs into a problem. So we see HolySmith selling the black belt. Coming back. Controlled a little bit by Dwayne there. Searching now. He is going to get grasshoppers here. We'll see if he runs. He is going to attempt to fight them. Now, the grasshoppers are dangerous because they do something called wing snap, which can enrage the characters and cause them to actually hit Gal if he appears. Are you ready for your Kappas in chat with the Cov? Coming up. Not first try for HolySmith, so his chance to catch up, unfortunately not there. Thanks, RNG. Oh, triple ghost, that's right, because triple ghost. Fire against Cyan, not the end of the world. Second try Gal or HolySmith and our caps in chat. And guy teaches us about Gal. Can be the most powerful character in the game, I believe, if you were to learn all of its rages. Cov, a gutsy guy. A race. Pace, and just comes in, drops a Kappa. The legend. Told us about a shiny was in here, and definitely smart on the Cov's part, because the trench can be evil. as we see HolySmith continue on. Gal can't remember where his shiny treasure was. You got your best buddies in the world. We're going to look for it. So we're going to go up. Thank God in Crescent Mountain, there are no encounters. He did? I apologize. I didn't see it. The Cub versus the Smith. We do see Gao's shiny. It appears to be some sort of breathing helmet. Because that'll never be crushed by water pressure, ever. Be Kappa while in chat to a guy. Coming up. The fans. Drops the Kappa for the fans. Could just get Gao for the cop, and we'll see how his trench goes. There are 4 encounters on the trench. You can run from each encounter, provided that you have the ability to run, of course. What we will see, that is for sure. Things are not that bad in regards to badness that's going on. It's 1 down. Ideally, he wants side attacks or preemptives. Has the Anguiforms, and Aspect can definitely do something called Numb Spines. That would definitely be bad. But he did not do that, so... Yes. I believe Absner did use his Spinch Drag for some of his contests and stuff. This is where he got it from. You want to go right and then left. That's the fastest way through this. Everybody cooperating on the co-op side. So far, this trench hasn't been too bad. And he's through there. 2 Anguiforms. Sir, no back attack. Single Anguiform is dangerous. When the Anguiforms are in pairs, or whenever monsters are in pairs, they seem to be less threatening. Or at least they do their less deadly attacks. We've got Kov coming into Nakia. Let's see if he buys a Mithril Pike at this point. Troll him a little bit. It appears as though he will. Oh, definite. That part. Sells the tent. Sells a buckler. Sells a bunch of stuff. Down. I did not notice. 16 smoke bombs, that should be more than enough. It's troll again. On point. Did buy echo screens the last run, I do remember. Fortunately, he was still able to win. To Narshe with his buddies. In the trench for HolySmith, his Cyan does appear to be down. It's not necessarily a bad thing, as Cyan runs really slow. Into Lux scenario. Play this game casually. You gotta go become a merchant, become a commander, steal some cider, do some other shenanigans, pick up someone named Celis, and do what you do. Do none of that. We're going to cheat here. I'm going to do a sequence break where it comes down. And we're out. Yeah, I would say. And we do see HolySmith come back here. Through there relatively without a problem. While the Cobb continues through. Now at this point, that can definitely happen on the Cobb. You can get poison. That's why we do have the one antidote. Now if this does happen again, it can definitely cause a problem. A back attack. Hopefully he gets hit there. He might stop. We'll see. Strats, nice. As potion, that is the definite smart play. As we come up, I'm going to pick up this Thunder Rod just for fun because see here on the Cobb side has no offensive weapons, so hopefully the Thunder Rod can do something good. Hopefully we can take out tunnel armor with it. Sets are later, absolutely. And a real preemptive. Sometimes the bar looks full and it's a fake preemptive, but real preemptive for the Cobb there. And armor. And this voice from the darkness is going to talk to us and say, oh, don't worry, I got this with Runic. And we go, yeah, maybe you do. But just to be sure, we use Thunder Rod, which casts Bolt 2, which is broken. Bolts ignore magic defense. And generally pretty bad. Or pretty good, I should say, OP. Holy, he runs into a pincer now. Potential gouge. So as you can see, well, incident not saved. The Cobb had saved twice. It's going to continue on though. Man in chat. That is really, really unfortunate. Run into that pincer. You definitely do run the possibility of getting killed just like that. Even though Gouge didn't kill him completely, the other enemy got a chance. Of his watching, although he does write whoops. I just saw that there. HolySmith offers his GGs to Cobb, so at this point, I'm saving to be sure. Although if I want to improve my PB time, obviously a win's more important than a PB, even though a PB is part of the tiebreaker. Really unfortunate luck for HolySmith. He did not have great RNG this run, and that can happen. Oh, the Cobb just realizing what has happened. Died. Yeah, unfortunately, the Cobb answered, and the bear hit him for 100, even though he did have him in the right spot. Other enemy hit him for 45 and he died. Oh yeah. Really unfortunate for Holy. I definitely feel, even though he was still a little bit behind, anything can happen at Kefka, so still definitely not over, but I would definitely say now that Holy did not save other runners. Definitely, even if you're behind, because you never know. of using his extra Phoenix down, coming through in the clutch. So he must have got the extra Phoenix down instead of the black belt. When you kill the commander at Doma, there's a 70% chance that he drops a black belt, and there's a 1/8 chance that he gives a Phoenix down. So he must have got that extra Phoenix down from there. Edgar just lies on the ground like yesterday's garbage. Hits on Holy's side. That's really unfortunate. I believe he's got 1 or 2 more battles left until he is done terrorist scenario. Yeah, that would explain why he was selling the tents and the other things. Dropped into black belt. That would explain the Cov. I was having a stream issue, so I had actually lost you at that point, so I didn't see what you had picked up. Came in useful then. Definitely important. Breakers, I would still save even though it loses seconds, but with the game in hand at this point, definitely want to come up that you can, because it is a tertiary tiebreaker should the strength of schedule tiebreaker be the same, or the Buchholz or Buchholz. I've been there, Holy. I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. Pincer is real. Our last set of cutscenes here are basically the Elder is like, well, if we stay neutral, the Empire won't kill us. And we have Arvis and Bannon going, well, they're going to kill you anyway, so you might as well just team up. Don't resist and die, or resist and you might have a chance. People have Wikigamer. They used to route in the Star Pendant. That got routed out because we pick up the antidote. Holy. This is very true. FF6 can giveth and taketh away all at once. As we see here, Emperor on the Cov side appears to be Luck's best friend. The Empire is coming, and they're all shocked. In this case, even if Holy had picked it up, there was nothing he could do. The only thing he could have potentially did was to use the tonic to bring Locke up to full health. Just about did it. But can you get info on how to get into the community? Don't know the command for the FF6 Discord. There's an amazing channel called Gen Chat. There's a voice channel called Whole Day, I believe. It's an amazing community. I'm sure one of the mods can get you that information. He's doing the right thing and going up and safety saving. Definitely a prudent strategy as he is going for the win here. Still be a jerk. Sometimes he can one-shot one of your opponents, so definitely prudent to save because you want to avoid Kefka's third turn. Because Kefka on the third turn can do a physical attack, can cast Bolt, either single target or whole party, and can cast the mother of all spells, Ice 2, single target or the whole party. Going to do one more manipulation here. Command for that. Sorry, Riku. I thought maybe they did. Going to avoid all of the green officers and come down here and avoid the brown officers. To try and avoid Rider. Splex will appreciate it. On his first attack, we are going to use some weight tricking here to try and slow Kefka down as much as we can. Although again, with Edgar at level 10, you're doing just a little less damage. We'll see if it makes a big difference or not. Kongao. Kov is in line. Looks good, as far as I can tell here. Just as though the Kov has done the new time of 1:27.14, beating his PB by 17 seconds. So congratulations and GG to the Kov. Excellent work. As he will move to 3-0. It's really, really sad. It was still a very close race at that point. Yes, a race PB for the Kov, so shoutouts to that. Oh, race PB. Hey, race PB is still a PB. Have a forfeit on HolySmith's side. Madness. Everybody is Kefka at Narshe. The next race up are amazing like that and have that information, except when I don't. Appears to be